The reason why I wanted to do this actually was because when I used to work in the restaurant, we used to do brunch, and my pastry chef used to make banana bread, and we would, give people an assortment of pastries instead of like giving them bread. And then we just got crazy one day and we just started making French toast with it for like a house meal kind of a thing. And I just wanted to recreate it because I really liked it.
What I have that probably could be used in a banana bread, nut bread, French toast is Flavora Cinnamon Crunch, because cinnamon goes well with banana.
Mm-hmm.
TPA banana nut bread, Capella golden butter, because I think that you need some kind of butter.
Oh, for sure.
And I was thinking to make, we don't eat a lot of French toast, but I think to make that kind of syrup, you can use Babe Train, golden syrup, and maybe Flavora sweet dough.
I want to see like a photo of what kind of French toast you're talking about, because, like I was saying, there's two different kinds. There's like the crunchy kind, and then there's just like the soft bready kind.
It was kind of mushy because what it was literally like a slice of banana bread, and we just cut it open. We sliced it, and then we put it in the egg wash, the dredge, and then we just put it on the flat top.
Yeah, that would be super soft.
Yeah, it was really soft because banana bread's already really soft. It's not going to be like a brioche or like or any kind of typical white bread where it really soaks up a lot of that egginess too.
We definitely need to find a way to cook it though.
Yeah. It's really, but the thing is too, it's got to be really dense too, that bread, because it was mainly that. It doesn't cut all the way into the middle because it's just so dense it doesn't saturate it. So you don't need to worry about too much of the egginess. It needs to mainly be that bread. Check.
I just had I have two more solid ideas though. Wonder Flavors pretzel dough would work, and Inawera sesame sweets would work.
That would work. The Inawera.
For you, it's like if you take a slice of banana nut bread,
and
you cook it with what? With butter, egg?
Wait, so you put it in the dredge, and that is basically like, we used heavy cream, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of nutmeg. So you could probably even use like eggnog, Flavora eggnog, and kind of like doctor that up a little bit. But it was basically, it is egg, heavy cream, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of spice, and then after that you throw butter on the flat top, and then you just toss it on there and you just let it cook. And then put syrup, put whatever you want on it.
You can use a slice of fresh banana on it?
Absolutely.
Something like that, or you want it more like fresh bananas?
That'll work. I'm cool with it.
All right, that's a dumbass idea, whoever made that though.
Yeah, they put the bananas right on the flat top.
And then attempted to fry the bread around the bananas and failed.
You know how people do that when they make pancakes and shit?
Mm-hmm.
That bothers me.
So you're looking more for just like fresh bananas.
Well, you can cook them too. I just hate that people put it right on top, on the flat top, and that cooks around it, like he was saying, where it like cooks into it, and it looks ugly.
Like you're not going to get full bread connection to the surface.
You almost can't cook all the egg. It's just steaming it. It's like steaming it underneath there.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
so I would imagine that you can use something like vanilla custard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for the eggy part, absolutely.
Yeah, you could do that. Like, I don't know. I'm into any kind of spice that we could use a Pola. If everybody has that, it'll kind of do the same thing, but it's gonna also have some of them spices going on.
Or we could try the eggnog. If you think the eggnog could work, we could try it.
Everyone's dancing around the hard part though.
That's the hard part.
You need to cook it.
What about the burnt sugar?
Yeah. Or you could even use like Vape Train creme brulee.
For the custardy part and the burnt sugar part?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying though, right? Because you need fried bread with egg.
So I know of a flavor that actually has like that kind of a burnt kind of note. I don't know if you want that in it or not.
What?
Hanson's cheesecake. which it would add a little bit of that like egginess, I guess, to it a little bit. But I don't know if that's where you want to go with it. Another one that has that note in it.
Toasted marshmallow is on the table for me.
Mm-hmm.
That could work.
Let me. I want to check the cinnamon crunch. Have you tried the cinnamon crunch?
Oh no, the cinnamon crunch is a great idea. We're keeping that. But I'm talking about we need something that makes it, because you put butter on your pan or flat top, and then you add the drench of the egg, and then you sear it, and then you like bake the side of it basically.
I know you're going to say no, but this may be a good case to use funnel cake.
Yeah. As long as it doesn't get Play-Doh-y.
I don't like this flavor, but
It does the sort of greasy cooked dough thing though.
But does it really add that crunch that we're looking for though?
That's what we're saying. We don't need the crunch at this point. We just need it to be a cooked dough.
What about Wonder Flavors cinnamon pastry?
Yeah, that could cut out the cinnamon crunch and the funnel cake.
What about
Do you have,
what about Flavor West waffle cone?
I bought that.
What about I picked up Flavora fried dough back for creme brulee donut time.
Which one?
Flavora fried dough.
I don't particularly like it.
Okay, I haven't used
Isn't that one Play-Doh-y?
Yeah, it's just, to me, it's like, I don't know. It's got too much of a damn oily note to it.
Okay, it's very greasy.
Yeah, it's like old grease too.
If we don't use funnel cake, maybe we can use croissant.
Croissant is a good ass idea. Wonder
That's
Flavors
good,
croissant.
Wonder flavors to add that flaky texture,
And it's like definitely crispy.
like the crust.
What do you think about that, Folkart?
Funnel cake is going to be a lot.
I think that the croissant might give it more of an airy feel rather than a dense feel, but it does give a little bit of flaky crunch to it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the banana nut bread would dense it up?
It may.
I don't know if it will. Hold on, let me grab that.
It'll add a buttery note to it too.
Yeah, and butter is not going to hurt. And then I was also still thinking we could utilize that Rice Crunchies effect.
Yeah, the crunchy air.
The wisp of crisp.
You know,
All right, this is coming together more now in my head. Like it's sounding better.
when we were coming up with the creme brulee donut, you know, we were really concerned about that crunchiness too. And the Rice Crunchies did that pretty well, right?
Yeah, that's where I'm getting like that idea from, because it works so well there.
Okay, so we definitely know we're using TPA banana nut bread.
Yes.
Oh man, that smells good. That's got a little hint of cinnamon in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's so good. Remember when you guys didn't have it?
Yeah. Never even tried it.
I would really like to have eggnog and I really love eggnog on its own, like that flavor, but it has such a good nutmeg, and nutmeg really does make such a difference when you're cooking.
Here's where I'm at. The banana nut bread, custard premium, and flavor cinnamon crunch. And you said eggnog, right?
Oh, I would love some eggnog in there.
You're talking about did you say funnel cake?
That one's, I smelled it with the banana nut bread. I'm not sold that it's going to work.
Okay, so what are we using for the bread part? I know we're using banana nut bread.
That's it so far.
Is there any other bready kind of thing that we're going to put in there?
Pudding base.
Well, yeah, I think we still need something other than the banana nut bread, but I don't think funnel cake is that thing.
Did you guys hear Graham? I was just gonna say that. What about vape train pudding base?
Now, if we're planning on using the Flavor Art Custard Premium, I don't think we're going to need any kind of pudding in it.
No, vape train pudding base is not pudding.
It's just bread. It's like nutty and bready. It does really work for
And
this.
it's cooked.
That would totally work.
Yeah, I'm sold on that. That smells right.
That smells really fucking good.
Now we just need what maple syrup?
I think just good old FA
FA maple.
It's hard to beat FA maple.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's sticky. It's got it's just fucking maple. I
that's
get
what I
sick
would
of
say.
that flavor, but it's perfect.
One little accent note that I want to talk about. Do we want to add a powdered sugar note to it?
I was thinking that too. 1-on-1 powdered sugar.
Can you taste it? The powdered sugar in the French toast?
Like as far as it having its own flavor, not a whole lot, but it's definitely you get the sense of powdered sugar being there.
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Yeah,
But we don't have to use it. We could make it without it, and then maybe if we want to make a batch with it, we can.
Yeah, well, you guys want to start with banana nut bread?
Yeah, I'm like around 6.
Yeah, I was gonna say 4, but I think we might need to crank it.
Yeah, I was going to say 4 to 5, something like that.
Yeah, it really doesn't
Yeah.
get any off notes. You guys want to do 5 just to see?
I would try with 5 first and then see.
All right, 5% banana nut bread. How much custard premium do you think to add the eggy part?
Do you want it really eggy? I mean, it's not that much of an eggy. It's not like Capella vanilla custard, so it's a little bit brighter.
So like maybe 1 to 1.5.
Well, we're also using the eggnog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to.
No.
With the eggnog, I want to. Okay, let's talk about the eggnog first then. I'm thinking low. I'm thinking 1/4 to 0.5%. You think 1?
Closer to 1.
You think so? Well, I do want that nutmeg to show. So
And
maybe
it's not going to show
yeah,
up.
maybe-
in order.
maybe 1. Yeah, because I do want more of it instead of just being an accent. So let's do 1.
It's a fairly strong flavoring. So yeah, I think 1's good. And the custard premium, I think probably at about 1 too.
I was looking at like 1.5 for that.
You want to go up to 1.5?
Just because you need to dominate the eggnog with it, or it's not going to show up. And eggnog, like you said, is already strong, so we need to be a little bit stronger than that.
1.5 it is.
1.5?
You get that like train of thought, right?
Most definitely.
You guys want to do pudding base or cinnamon crunch next?
Pudding base is fairly strong. Maybe 1%.
You think
Really?
higher? You think what? Like 1.5, 2?
So the pudding base is what's going to give it the crunch. I know that sounds
That's
It's not
right.
crunch. It's going to give it dough. It's going to give it bread.
okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be more of like a cooked kind of. It's kind of like AP. It's not really like smell it. It's not really creamy.
I wouldn't say it's like AP either. It's more like AP than creamy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but it's not like a sort of, you know how AP is basically nutty, bready, nothing. This has like a full bread flake. If you've had bread pudding, right?
Yeah.
You know how you get that sense that there's like stale bread was involved when you eat it?
That's why they make bread pudding, is because the bread's stale.
It's that exact flavor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Of that sort of stale bread was used here.
like a biscuit kind of, right? Biscuity, I guess.
It's super unique. It is biscuity, but I've never had a flavor similar to stale bread flavor, if that makes sense.
So would you say this is an inhale of stale?
Yeah.
I'm disgusting.
What do you think?
What I'm worried about is that so far, banana nut bread and eggnog is going to dominate the recipe.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say banana nut bread and eggnog is kind of what we want to dominate. That's what we're making.
kind of the base.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have to pair the rest of the percentages to
Yeah.
those.
Yeah, which is why I'm thinking higher for the
Yeah.
inhale of stale.
Okay, so we'll do the inhale of stale.
1.5 probably.
Yeah, let's see if that works out because we also have the cinnamon crunch too.
So what is the cinnamon crunch bringing to the recipe? It's just bringing a little bit of that crunch to it?
Yeah, a little bit more AP because we're not adding AP from anywhere else, like strict AP, and then the cinnamon that we want to add to the banana nut bread.
Okay.
And some kind
We
of
don't have to
toast.
do the cinnamon crunch if you'd prefer rich cinnamon or the cinnamon pastry, but I know Max just said he wanted an extra cinnamon of
No,
some.
that's-
I think you
fine.
want it.
Cap
'cause-
cinnamon sugar.
Oh,
But what I like about cinnamon crunch is the toasted part.
Right, yeah. If we go the cinnamon sugar route, it's not going to help the toasted part where cinnamon crunch will in like the AP.
I say we still
Area.
keep that then.
Okay.
But I do love capped cinnamon sugar.
So I'm about 1%. What do you guys think?
For cinnamon crunch, Around there, on the lower end of there.
Lower than 1?
Yeah, like I was at like 0.75 to 1 is where I was at.
We can do 0.75.
Yeah, it's not a super strong flavor, right?
It's not super strong, but it's pure cinnamon.
I'm saying I've seen that pumped to like 4 or 5 before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can crank it if you want cinnamon crunch.
But it stays.
But we have the cinnamon from the eggnog and from the banana nut bread itself.
Right.
That's the maple now.
Maple could be pretty low. For me, I like it around 1/4. Because anywhere higher, I get a lot of it. I think it's really sweet too. I got burnt out. I was making tobaccos with maple for a while, and
What do you think of Folkart?
I was willing to go up to close to 1, but if you get that, if you're kind of sick of it,
I'll try one.
Let's split the baby.
let's do a half. Okay, so we're going for a banana nut bread French toast. We're going to start out with the obvious TFA banana nut bread. We're going to be using it at 5%. Next, we have Flavora Cinnamon Crunch. We're going to be using it at 0.75%. Now we're going to put in some FA Custard Premium at 1.5%. This is the flavor creative over at Chefs Flavours. It's their brand. It's just rebottled FA Custard Premium. It's the same thing. We're going to throw in some Flavora Eggnog at 1%. A little bit of mapley syrup, FA, at 0.5%. Did I say mapley? And last, we're using Vape Train's pudding base at 1.5%. It's pretty close. It's pretty damn close. I like it. One thing that I'm missing just a little bit, I'm not really tasting the eggnog much at all.
No.
And it seems like we could actually maybe increase that eggnog and maybe even the custard premium, because it's kind of dry. It's not soft and
Itchy.
yeah, it's a little itchy. It's pretty dry. So I don't know what's bringing that. Maybe the cinnamon crunch.
That's what I was thinking. I don't think it's bready enough either.
Yeah, that's the issue, right? It's not bready enough.
For me, it is a little bit dry, and actually, I would put more banana nut bread.
I think you should try the cinnamon sugar.
Maybe crank up the bread pudding.
Mm-hmm.
Swap out cinnamon crunch for cinnamon sugar.
Because that bread pudding will do the same thing that cinnamon crunch is kind of doing, maybe a little bit. So
Yeah.
just up the bread pudding and the cinnamon sugar.
What do you think about the custard?
I think the egg that could go up too, probably.
I only get the sweetness from the banana nut bread, from the banana part of the banana nut bread. I don't get much of a banana flavor.
I almost want to use cap vanilla custard. I think it needs to be a little bit more like fatty and greasy. That's kind of why I want to use Capella.
You want to switch to Capella custard?
Surprisingly, yeah. Because I get a nice oily kind of fattiness from it.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good idea, because I know in a lot of bakeries that I want like a soft, bready kind of feel to it. If you add that cap vanilla custard to it, it actually imitates that kind of a soft texture to it.
Banana nut bread going up to 6 or staying at 5?
I want to interject something here. Do y'all have banana custard, Fate Train?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think about adding a touch of that to bring that banana note up some?
The issue here is that we're going to add another wet thing.
Let's leave out the banana custard for now and just see what it's like. Yeah, the eggnog, I think, actually is bringing too much. So when I eat French toast, there's a lot of people that puts nutmeg and cinnamon on it. I hate fucking nutmeg. I don't put it on anything. And that might be where I'm getting that scratchiness from, is from that nutmeg. So if we take that out and just use the Capella vanilla custard,
The cap cinnamon sugar.
At what? 0.75 also?
I mean, you can go higher with that without it being a bully.
I think you could.
If you think this is too aggressively spicy and cinnamon heavy, then if you use 0.75 of the cinnamon sugar, I think it'll be more where you want it, because it's going to cut down that amount of cinnamon by substantially.
Yeah, for sure.
And the vanilla custard at 2%, maybe?
I would say 1.
Yeah, so increase the pudding base to 2, 1% cap vanilla custard, 0.75 cinnamon sugar, everything else the same. Eggnog staying or going?
I think it needs to go.
I think get it out of there for now.
TPA banana nut bread at 5%, cinnamon cap cinnamon sugar at 0.75%, pudding base at 2%. That's Vape Train. FA maple, we're keeping it at 0.5%, and cap vanilla custard at 1%. The scratchiness is gone, in my opinion. The custard, I think, is doing what it should do in this mix. It gives it a little softer, moisture note. The cinnamon sugar for me seems a bit high, but I'm not that big on cinnamon. So, that's relative, I guess. But I'm still not getting enough banana.
Everyone agree with that?
No. What I get is that the eggnog was distracting too much from the banana nut bread. Now I get more of that banana nut bread. And the custard is perfect here.
I'm basically on the same page as Folkart, minus I don't think the cinnamon sugar is too high at all. Outside of that, though, everything I agree. The vanilla custard's doing what it's supposed to do. The pudding base going up to 2 is a good idea. The banana nut bread isn't super heavy on banana itself, but I do get the profile of it.
I think I need banana. I'm basically more agreeing with Folkart on everything. Only I want a touch more of the vanilla custard just because I want a little bit more of the greasiness.
Really?
You would boost the banana and the custard.
I want to add Wonder Flavors banana puree.
Why not Vape Train?
Vape Train what?
Banana custard.
As long as I get more banana.
So are we all on the agreement that that we're going to add the banana, some type of banana?
Yeah, I think that's the only real adjustment that we have on the table right now.
Well, I have one other suggestion. I know I'd mentioned this earlier about the powdered sugar, just to give it just a little bit of an accent.
It'll probably sell French toast a lot more too. It might set it off because like maple is doing a lot to like give you that kind of thing, but I think the powdered sugar on top would really set it off.
So are we going
what
with
percentage for the banana? Though is where I'm struggling here.
Are we doing custard? Banana custard?
Yeah, just because I think it's more of like an authenticity sake. It's more accurate because it's a very fleshy banana flavor in the banana custard, where banana puree is very thin. All right, so we got powdered sugar and banana custard. Banana custard, what are you thinking?
I don't think we need a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah, probably like one or two, if that, even right 1.
It's almost like the banana custard at 1% is filling out the maple syrup part of it.
It is, ain't it?
Right? Isn't that weird?
It's giving it like a sweetness.
Yeah.
To the maple, because maple syrup to me doesn't really taste like syrup. It just tastes like a maple. I mean, it doesn't feel like a syrup. It kind of tastes like a maple syrup, but doesn't have a feel of a syrup. Whereas the banana custard is kind of giving it that extra little bit of sweetness to make it into a syrup.
Yeah, and just a tiny bit of like more of a thick sugar, basically. And I think that's the combination of powdered sugar, maple syrup, and 1% banana custard, I think is completing that aspect.
That's good.
This is like near perfect, right, Folkart?
Yeah, I think so. I do. So we ended up using Vape Train banana custard at 1%, TPA banana nut bread at 5%, 0.75% of capped cinnamon sugar, 0.5% of Flavor Art maple syrup, 0.75% of 1-on-1 powdered sugar, 2% Vape Train pudding base, and 1.5% Capella vanilla custard. and it's fucking delicious. It's just that little bit of powdered sugar, and the banana custard. It gave it more banana, and the powdered sugar just, I don't know. It's just like a little extra little accent.
And honestly, I didn't consider how much the powdered sugar would do until like now, like retrospectively thinking about it, because it's adding like a granular quality to the bread, which could help sell the fact that it's a toasted or fried bread. It's adding like the thickening part to the maple syrup and the banana. Like it's doing so much here.